approaching, this is what we should say. Excuse me, do you sell the moon here?
Yes. How many would you like?
It's not convenient to speak of numbers here.
Ah, well said. Please, use this to ascend to the chamber.
Yep.
And yet the code they used was not the one for guests.
Paimon's exhausted. If we hadn't happened to see the Jade Chamber flying over just as we came out of the Golden House, we really wouldn't have known which way to go. Did we make it in time? Is the Overlord of the Vortex still in the sea?
What are you doing here?
Huh? Hold on. It's the Adepti. What are you doing on the Jade Chamber? Paimon thought you were arguing with the...
Faced with a calamity of such magnitude, we have agreed to put our differences aside for now.
Oh, Paimon gets it. So how do you plan to defend Lila? Just seeing this Overlord of the Vortex Skype.
It's not just you. We've got new Millilith recruits who can't even stand at attention without shaking. Which is why we must stop that monster before it gets any closer to Liyue Harbor.
So the Archon War was fought 2,000 years ago against enemies like that thing? So will the power of the Chising, Millilith, and Adepti gathered here be enough to stop that god?
We've already discussed this together, and our conclusion is...
What? Wait, all of you were supposed to be the guardians of Liyue!
One certainly could.
Huh?
The Chising did once research the matter of the Guizhong Ballista when it peaked. And as fate would have it, one who did craft the Guizhong Ballista. For what could you mortals ever learn of Adepti mechanisms? Yet, it would take one, but a little...
I suppose this is one blessing from the Adepti that we should be thankful for. So be it. We shall use the upgraded Guizhong Ballista to fight off that god. All the Adepti here can lend their strength. We haven't a moment to spare. Our battle begins now.
Yep.
The three Adepti are manning the Guizhong Ballista. Do not let the Fatui disturb their work!
All able Millilith, with me!
Let's go up too!
We Adepti have not faced a god in several millennia. Let one see what you're made of then. What strength remains within you? One witness to witness.
We've only just begun.
You
can't run! Looks like I went too far. Use this first. You can't run! Well...
I must collect myself.
Animal test 6308. Yeah, let's dance!
That is Osial's divine power. I am very familiar with it. Be careful not to get hit.
Steady, go!
The Fatui! Their attacks are unrelenting!
How daring. Snezhnai's diplomats will answer for this afterward. Every last one.
No rest for the wicked.
No
excuse for slacking.
Will your doctor say we can't hold them, children?
One shall descend once again.
Don't lose heart. Here, take this.
Get the energy! That light from your body, it's like the time of Julian Cars! Wow! It's about a pink shockwave! This granny's really strong! Animal test 6308.
Looks like I went too far.
La la la! Ha!
Send this quickly. This isn't good.
With the blood of the Chilean, I guard you against evil! Cast your fear of injury by the wayside, and fight with all your might! I too did this during the Arconte War! So this is what got his life in a fight!
My name means swiftness. Take my power and run as I do.
We're going too fast!
Child, you are strong in body and spirit. Perhaps you can withstand 3 forms of adeptal energy at once.
This will hurt a little. Please bear with us.
Once you've adapted, try to use them in battle.
Lose myself. Shine. Wings of darkness! Come, sever that Animal test 6308. Exercise caution! I fear that the god's power has reached its peak!
In other words, if we hold here, there's nothing worse to come, right?
This is it.
No longer. Shadow Razor! Careful!
Not breaking us
Animal
away.
hopelessness!
No excuse for slacking. My work.
Look at me. Animal testing. Stand clear. Shine through no longer. Midnight Phantasmagoria! The Fatui's numbers are thinning!
God in peace!
The interlopers are no more. Now we may commit ourselves fully.
It's working! We just need to keep this up!
Be careful now.
The Guizhong Ballista is destroyed. Without its covering fire, retaliation shall be difficult.
But the Jade Chamber is our last line of defense. We can't give another inch, no matter what.
I have another idea.
What do you mean, Lady Ningguang?
I'll sacrifice the Jade Chamber.
What is the meaning of this?
I understand.
Traveler, lend me a hand. Farewell, old friend. Goodbye for now. Let us meet again in the future.
Is it finally over?
The ominous aura of that monster has indeed begun to fade. The effects of the Sigil of Permission last but a short time. It will be some time before the Overlord of the Vortex can make any waves again.
We are indebted to you for your assistance. If the Adepti hadn't happened to be here...
Save your flattery. We didn't just happen to be here. Surely...
Come now. There's no need for such harsh words, Cloud Retainer. I've heard that when Ningguang began learning to do business, she had already started setting aside part of her then limited income. At first, it was only the size of a small room, but with continued expansion, it has become the palace that lies before you now. It is a testament to Ningguang's entire life, both as a businesswoman and as the backbone of the Liyue Qixing. Seeing the Jade Chamber destroyed in the defense of Liyue means much to her. To me, such cooperation and sacrifice to...
Well, I was really hoping you would say that such sacrifice could at least be used as some leverage in our negotiation. Thank you all for hearing me out. We know very well why the Adepti came here today.
Oh?
3,700 years. According to our records, the Adepti signed a contract with Rex Lapis to protect Liyue. Even to this very day, Liyue and its lands have stood the test of time, immovable as stone, But that does not mean that the Liyue of today is the same city as it was all those years ago. Do not merely cast your protective gaze upon the land. Instead, focus your sights on our city in each of—
Are you questioning our means of protecting Liyue?
I mean no offense. I simply hope that our Adepti forebears would see Liyue in a new light.
Forebearers, you say? One doubts you would be fit to be part of such a
This morning, Rex Lapis appeared to me in a dream.
What?
In the dream, I yearned to tell him that we Qixing, though mortal, are equally bound to the contract. I also thought to tell him how the past generations of Qixing had strove under his rule to survive in our mortal world. But I dared not speak. I could only gaze at him in silence until the
Oh, Ningguang.
Yet another perspective. What are you trying to say, Outlander?
Right! That's something that happened in Mondstadt. It's a story about the Four Winds and the people of the Animal Archon. The Animal Archon sought to quell the strife between the two sides, because he believed that such conflict would only scar the hearts of both, and that
Each of the 7 nations has its own scars from the past.
Though your point is the very height of simplicity. As Adepti, we've become a laughingstock, to be chastised thus by an outlander who has lent a—
All right. Didn't Ningguang suggest that we should focus on the city and each of its citizens? I know I already have, so—
I apologize for appearing in full armor. I am afraid I cannot show the proper courtesies.
And who are you?
I am Feng Yan, a sergeant of the Millilith. I have come to extend my thanks to the Adepti. I thought this battle would perhaps be my last. But thanks to the aid of the Adepti, although I am a mere mortal soldier, I promise to hold the line and never betray the grace given to us by the illuminated Adepti this day.
Huh? Why does everyone look so down?
Weren't you frightened, dear? It was quite the predicament.
I wasn't afraid. All the strong Millilith guards were there, and those powerful heroes with their visions were there. When danger is near, everyone always protects me. And the rest of the time, they make fun toys and tasty snacks and thanks for protecting Liyue Harbor. Please, come visit us for the next lantern rite.
Unfortunately, we wouldn't be able to participate.
Huh?
Because we are Adepti.
Oh, okay. Oh.
You see, this is what Liyue is like today. The country of contracts is grateful to the Adepti for their protection, but it is no longer necessary for the city to rely on the Adepti's power to solve every little niggling matter. Although their blood is weak, there is still strength to be found. The time of contracts between gods and Liyue has long since passed. Now is the time of contracts between Liyue and its people.
Seeing the port around us now, it is hard not to feel a bit out of place.
Your line of inquiry is askew. One did not spearhead this expedition.
Seems like the Adepti have had a change of heart.
Let us return now.
Eager to leave, conqueror of demons.
Yes, one understands what the conqueror of demons means. One fears that by the time one finally grasps the new contracts of Liyue, fair enough.
Since we Adepti have consensus, then one shall persist no further. But how will we ensure that the Liyue Qixing will not simply exploit their power once we depart?
All right, Mooncarver, you needn't worry. It seems to me that this right of supervision is
Looks like the conflict between humans and Adepti was avoided. All's well that ends well, huh? Oh, right! It's nice that we've got peace and all, but we're forgetting one thing. Child wanted to unleash the god so he could lure Rex Lapis out. But we were able to handle the Overlord of the Vortex on our own. Oh, and speaking of that, don't we still need to get to the bottom of that Archon's death?